The BBC have scrapped free TV licences for over 75s. Isn't it time that we stood up to the BBC and said no more? We will not stand for your extortion. We're not paying it. That's what I'm going to be talking about today. So stay tuned and don't worry, you don't need a licence to watch this. So let's go.
The BBC.
Normal programming has been suspended.
This is BBC One.
Over to the newsroom.
So the BBC are scrapping free TV licences for people aged 75 years and over from June 2020. The BBC confirmed this week. People of 75 years and over will no longer be entitled to a free TV licence, which is going to leave millions, it says here, millions and millions of pensioners cut off without TV access. Either that or they're going to have to pay it and they're going to have to go without something else like heating or electric, and you can guarantee that it will be heating bills or electric bills that they will go without because they'll want to pay the TV licence so they don't get locked up by these criminals, these big fat cat criminals sat at the top of the BBC. They're going to have blood on their hands. You are going to have, if you're watching, I highly doubt the BBC are going to be watching because they're not modern enough to watch anything that's online. They're stuck in the 1960s watching TV and box TVs in the corner. You're actually going to have blood on your hands. You are going to have blood in your hands. You're going to have deaths now, I can tell you, of thousands of old people and pensioners who won't put the heating on, won't pay their bills because they're now paying for a TV licence. You're taking it away from them. It's not on at all. So they're basically targeting old people. You're targeting pensioners who fought in the war, fought for this generation, and you're taking away their TV. It's absolutely disgusting, and that's why I'm making this vlog today, because I feel really strong about this. I normally don't do vlogs like this. I do tasting menus and running around town doing silly things, but this is really wound me up. So Sir David Clementi, chairman of the BBC, said it was a difficult decision. By the way, let me just tell you, he's on £100,000 per annum, right? On £100,000 per annum. I can tell you, I bet it won't be a difficult decision when that fat cat gives himself a raise next year. That won't be such a difficult decision for him. So that's David Clementi, chairman of the BBC, right? Oh, and while we're on the subject of wages, let me just tell you, the BBC Director General, Tony Hawk.
It's a difficult decision. It's been thought of we've been thinking about it so carefully, and it's not a decision that we come to easily at all.
Oh, he's paid, no, not too bad, £450,000. Oh, wait a minute, plus another £450,000 in remuneration and expenses. So basically, nearly £1 million a year. Let's get that in context, right? Let's get that in context. £1 million a year, and I bet he gets a wage increase next year. Okay, right, let's look at TV presenters, for instance, right? TV presenters, Gary Lineker.
Well, I never thought I'd be doing a blasel at this World Cup about not just a defeat for the host nation, but
1.8 million a year. Why not just cut some of these people's wages instead of taking it off the old people? Graham Norton.
Presumably you love technology, so you must love Black Mirror and all.
£610,000 a year. Steve Wright. Steve Wright, who's a DJ, just on in the afternoon for 2 or 3 hours. I do like Steve Wright, by the way.
Gary, for me, is like an anchor. He anchors our morning.
Don't get me wrong, I like his afternoon show, and I love Sarah Cox in the afternoon, but he's on £560,000 a year, right? Now, let me put this in context, right? A nurse. I've just recently been to hospital, and I have to tell you, I wouldn't have got through some of the stuff without the nurse next to me talking to me. A nurse gets paid £23,000 a year, right? And she has to study years for that as well. £23,000 a year to do a nurse's job, to clean shit up and people's shit and piss and look after them. Or you can be a DJ for 3 hours and get paid £560,000. It's just totally out of context. Right now, the licence fee 90% of your license fee is spent on the BBC, right? So even if you watch the commercial channels and you don't switch the BBC on, right, you still have to pay the TV license. I'm just saying this, but for my American viewers, because I know when I spend time in the United States myself, I get the BBC there at my flat over there, and I don't pay a TV license because you don't pay a TV license in America. And I still get BBC America, so it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And that other 10% is split between the other commercial channels, right? So the BBC should be subscription based or made commercial. Now personally I think subscription based because I don't like commercials. So let's have a viewers poll, right? Let's have a viewers poll. So up above, you'll see up above here, it'll ask you a question. Should the BBC A, keep the license, B, have commercials, or C, be subscription based? Let me know in the link above, click it and let's see what people think, right? So now, just in case you are watching in the USA or other parts of the world, because you probably will laugh at all this thinking a license for a TV.
There are rather a lot of TV detector vans in this area tonight. New, more powerful vans. If you don't have a license, they'll know just where to look for you.
Right, if you're watching live television, you need a TV license. Even if it's broadcast, they changed it actually, the BBC did, because they got a bit worried when young people and the new generation didn't watch TVs, they watch it on the computer. Started panicking a little bit, thinking, oh right, we'll still call it a TV license, but if you've got a mobile phone, cell phone, a laptop or a tablet computer, an iPad or whatever, if you're watching live television on those devices, then you have to pay a TV license.
Not having a TV license is a criminal offence. Our computer has the address of everyone in the country, so it's only a matter of time before we catch up with you.
If you're watching it on catch-up, then you obviously don't. Now, I have to say, just in case anybody from the BBC is watching this, I am a huge fan of the BBC. I think it is the best television corporation in the world. However, the licence fee is tantamount to daylight robbery. It's daylight robbery. It's archaic, it's an archaic form of tax. Basically, it's a means of extorting money from people. The BBC are basically modern day Dick Turpins, or the mob. If you get somebody knocking on your door requesting for money, we'll have some money, otherwise we're going to beat you up or break your leg. It's the same kind of thing. We'll have some money. I don't watch the BBC. We don't care whether you watch the BBC, you need to pay this licence. But I don't watch the BBC, I watch ITV. Tough, you still got to pay for the licence. It's basically the government extorting money from you. I've made some notes on here. It really is. Basically, if you don't pay the TV licence, you get a £1,000 fine. A £1,000 fine.
Our computer has the address of everyone in the country, so it's only a matter of time before we catch up with you. Don't wait for the knock on the door. Get a TV licence.
It's basically another form of a tax. It's completely wrong. And the people of the UK will just pay it. We just pay it anyway. Oh, you've got to pay your TV licence. You've got to. What if the government said to you, you need a licence for your microwave? You need a licence for your microwave. You've got to have a licence for your microwave. Would you pay it? I'm guaranteeing you that 90% of the UK would go, all right, we've got to pay it. So let me just have another poll here. If the government said to you, and it's not comical, because if you think about it, in other parts of the world they think it's comical having a TV licence, a licence for your TV. If the government suddenly sent a letter and said it's a £1,000 fine unless you pay for a microwave licence, would you pay it, yes or no? Click above, let me know.
Not pay my TV licence? That's preposterous. I pay mine monthly by direct debit. Animal Hospital with Rolf Harris is worth the money on its own.
In an age where today's generation are watching more YouTube than commercial television, or the BBC, why are we still being bullied into paying this TV licence? The BBC have always tried to bully us, terrorise us, and scare us and scaremonger us into paying a TV licence. Back in the 1970s, some of you folks who, about my age, which is 49, will actually remember this. They had a TV commercial or a TV campaign where there was a guy going around in a Detector van, and basically he said he's watching Columbo and he's in the front room and he hasn't got a TV licence. What complete bullshit.
Yes, there's a TV set on number 5. It's in the front room. And they're watching Columbo.
If you don't have a TV licence, it won't take us long to find you.
They're always terrorising you into, even said what room of the house is in the living room. It was in the 1970s. You didn't even have colour TV back then, I don't think, or GPS. What a load of cobblers. It was basically terrorising the public into paying a TV licence. And now, because there's not many people paying a TV licence, because less and less people are having TVs and live TVs, they're trying to extort it from older people, and it's not on, and we need to put a stop to it. It's absolute cobblers. It really is. We need to, in fact, let's start off, we're going to do this, we're going to set off a trend. Let's do hashtag scrap the TV licence. Let's get this trending on Twitter. Let's screw the BBC and stop them from taking money off of us and older people, especially the older generation. It's absolutely disgusting. So hashtag scrap the TV licence, and share this video, not for the fact that I want views on this. I feel really strongly about it. You really are hurting the older generation. It's completely disgusting. Anyway, that's enough of my ranting. I think that's enough of that. And don't worry, you can subscribe to my channel. It's completely free. There's no TV licence. I will charge you if you've got a microwave, that I'll send a licence out for that in future. So like, subscribe, share this video. I'm sorry, it's a little bit of a rant. Back to the normal vlogs, tasting pizzas and running around New York and Leeds or wherever in the next one. But I just felt really strongly about this. It's time that the BBC are told we will not stand for it anymore. So hashtag scrap the TV licence. So hashtag scrap the TV licence, and let's get it gone. Until next time, as the newsreaders do on the BBC, good night.
But for tonight, that's all. So from me, Richard Straker, on behalf of all of my colleagues here on BBC One, at just after 8 minutes past midnight, we wish you a very warm good night. Good night.